So, hello everyone. Hope you are all fine at your places. Today I am here with you one more video that is something related to electrical heating. In this video, basically I am with you with some numerical problems how this electrical heating can be used in our industrial application, in our domestic application. So, in this video, I am trying to solve the two numericals. One numerical is basically based upon the design of heating element, where we have to calculate the diameter and the length of heating element that can be used for heating purpose. And number two, there is a numerical based upon induction heating. I hope you can understand the basic concepts of design of electrical heating as well as the induction heating. If you have any problem after watching this video, you can comment me in my comment box. Also, you can text me or WhatsApp me. Your messages, your comments, your suggestions are most welcome. So, quickly coming to the part to start, what do you mean by this electrical heating? See, electrical heating is basically based on the principle that when an electrical current passes through a medium, heat is produced. Let us take this case of solid material having a resistance R and current flowing through it is I amperes for a time t seconds. Then heat produced in a material is given by the relation H is equals to I square RT, where H is called as the heat, I is the current flowing through the material, R is the resistance, and time t is the time t in seconds. Electrical heating is an any process in which electrical energy is converted into the heat energy. As we all know, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form to the another form. So in case of an electrical heating, what will be happen? The electrical energy is converted into the heat energy. An electrical heater is an electrical device that converts the heat current into heat. The heating element inside the electrical heater is an electrical resistor and its work on the principle of Joule heating. And according to the Joule heating, an electrical current passing through the resistor will convert the electrical energy into the heat energy. So this is all about, you can say that the basic idea about electrical heating. This heating is required for domestic purpose such as for cooking the food, heating the building. It is also used in some industrial purposes such as melting of metals, hardening, drying, welding, etc. Moreover, heating requirement can be met by some form of electrical heating equipments. We all know this electrical heating has certain advantages which are enlisted one by one. I will discuss one by one that the electrical heating is economical, it is cleanliness, ease of temperature control, absence of flue gases, saving in space, uniform heating, maintenance cost is low, less attention required, location of heat, safety, absence of noise, quick operation, as well as efficiency. So these are 11 to 12 points that are basically includes the advantages of this electrical heating. Moreover, this electrical heating or the method of heat transfer can take place by the three forms. Number one is called as the conduction, number two is called as the convection, and number three is called as the radiation. So you can say that according to heat, the heat can be transferred from one media to another media by these three modes of operation. And these three modes of operation are, you have conduction, you have convection, and you have a radiation. If we talk about the classification of a electrical heating, so as it's seen, the mainly electrical heating can be classified into two categories. Your number one, power frequency heating, and number two is high frequency heating. In power frequency heating, it is substantially classified as resistance heating, where we have a direct resistance heating, we have indirect resistance heating, we have a arc heating, that is a direct arc heating, we have an indirect arc heating, and on the other side, high frequency heating, we have induction heating, in which we have two categories, that is a direct core type and we have a coreless type, and you have a dielectric heating. So you can say that your heating will be divided into two main categories that depends upon the frequency level. If the frequency level is a normal power frequency level, then your extreme left hand side will be the classification of the heating, that is mainly classified as resistance heating and arc heating, which are further classified as direct resistance, indirect resistance, direct arc, and the indirect arc. On the right hand side, if the frequency is higher than the power frequency, then these type of heatings are called as induction heating as well as the dielectric heating. Subsequently, the induction heating can also be defined as the direct heating as well as the coreless heating. So these are basically the classification of electrical heating, and in the next video I am coming with you people, what do you mean by this resistance, direct, indirect, arc, and indirect. So today I am here with you having two numerical problems. The number one numerical problem is on design of heating element, and number two is your core type furnace numerical. So quickly I am coming to the part of design element used in heating. So before discussing the numerical problem, first of all we have to be understand about the design of heating element. For design of a heating element, we have a small relation, and by solving the numerical, we can use this relation. Now, what will be happen? Let us consider a wire is employed for the electrical heating, maybe a circular or a rectangular. Knowing the electrical input and its voltage and size and length of wire required as a heating element to provide the temperature can be calculated. The temperature of the heating element in initial stage will be increased gradually, but after some time it attains a constant temperature. So based upon this thing, you have a Stephen's law, and according to the Stephen's law, your heat H is equals to 5.72 into Stephen's constant, that is a Ke. T1, that is your final temperature, and T2 is your initial temperature, watts per centimeter square. So your first equation will become as H is equals to 5.72 Ke T1 upon 100 minus T2 upon 100 watts per meter square. The difference between only the first equation and your second equation is that thing. In first equation, it is watts per centimeter square, and here it is watts per meter square. Now the electrical power given is equals to, as we know, P is equals to V square upon R, where V is called as a supply voltage and R is called as the resistance of heating element. So we know your resistance is basically equals to rho L upon A, and A is equals to pi d by 4, pi d square by 4 if we use a circular coil. So you can say that your R is equals to, resistance is equals to rho L upon A, and your area is equals to pi by 4 d square. So substituting these values into the above equation, you can get the equation like pi d square v square upon rho into L into 4 into 1 upon pi dl. So finally your equation number 2 becomes as v square d upon 4 rho into L square, where V is the voltage applied, D is the diameter of the circular wire, rho is called as the resistivity of the material for which you can make this coil, L is the length. Now, if you equate your equation number 1 and equation number 2, you can get equation number 3. That is H is equals to V square D upon 4 rho L square, or D by L square is equal to 4 H rho V square. This is your equation number 3. So coming to the part After that, when you solve this equation, you are getting a final equation, that is L upon d square is equals to pi v square upon 4 rho into P, where L is the length of heating element used, d is the diameter, pi is a constant value 3.14, v is the voltage, 4 is a constant value, rho is the resistivity of the material used for heating element, and P is the power. So this equation number 4 we can use for calculation of the length of wire as well as the diameter of the wire used as a heating element. I think this will be clear to you. Now, based upon these above formulas and these becomes equations, we are trying to solve a numerical. I think this your derivation is clear to all of you, and if this derivation is clear to you, then you can easily put the values in these formulas and get your result. So now I am sharing with you the numerical that we are solving, how a D and L can be calculated for designing the heat element used in a heating purpose. Now, this is the numerical problem that you are all seen on your screen, that a 20 kW single phase 220 volt resistance oven employs a circular nickel chrome wire for its heating element. If the temperature is not exceed by 1170 degrees centigrade and the temperature of the charge is 500 degrees centigrade, calculate the size of the wire required. Assume the radiating efficiency of 0.86 and your specific resistance, or the you can say the specific resistance or the resistivity of the nickel chrome is 100 into 10 raised to power minus 6 ohm meter, and the emissivity is 0.9. So you have to calculate the D and the L of a nickel chromium wire used as a heating element in this particular problem. Now, based upon the numerical, what should I do? I do a given data. Now, according to the given data, your number one will be the power supply. So power supply P is equals to 20 kW. That means 20 to 10 raised to power 3. That is will be 20,000 watts. Supply voltage 220 volt. Emissivity, that is E is equals to 0.9. This value will be given in the numerical. Radiant efficiency 0.6, again given. Specific resistance of nickel chromium wire, that is resistivity rho is equals to 100 into 10 raised to power minus 6 ohm centimeter. Now, based upon the previous formula, you see that L upon D square is equals to pi V square upon 4 rho into P. जो अभी मैंने पीछे आपको बताया कि ये L upon D, that is the ratio of length to the diameter of heating element is equals to pi V square upon 4 rho into P. So what should I do? I can use that formula. So here we have 3.14 into 220 into 220 upon 4 into 100 into 10 raised to power minus 6 into 22,000. So once you can get a value, you get a value that is L upon D square is equals to 1870, and it will be your equation number 1. I think this will be clear to you. Now, what will be your next procedure? In next thing, according to the Stephen's law, your H is equals to 5.7 Ke T1 upon 1000 minus T2 upon 1000 raised to power 4, as I am also discussing in the starting of the derivation. Now what I do, I can substitute the value. Now here we have, it is 5.72 into 0.6, that is the value 0.9. Now here the temperature will be 1170 plus I can getting the value of the 273, that is your get a value in your degree Fahrenheit upon 1000 minus 500 plus 273 upon 1000. In both the side I can substitute the value 273. So here we can get a value H is equals to 12.3 watt per centimeter square. This is your equation number 2. I think this equation is also clear to you. I know you all know that a surface area is equals to pi dl and the heat dissipation is equals to pi dl into H. So you have pi dl into 12.3 watts. Now equate this value, that is the total heat dissipated, is equals to electrical power input. So you have pi dl into H is equals to 20,000 that will be always given. So from that equation we can get a value dl is equals to 517.57. I can squaring both side. You can get d square l square is equal to 267,886, and this is your equation number 3. Now see, you have equation number 1. In equation number 1 there is a ratio of l upon d square, and here we have equation number 3. Here we have a product of d square into l. We have two equations and we have two unknown. So based upon that thing, we can get the value d is equals to 0.302 centimeter and l is equal to 17.11 meter. So I think this value is clear to all of you. So by the virtue of this thing, we can calculate the value of d, as well as that we can calculate the diameter of your uh, heating element design, as well as the length of heating element design. And this numerical is totally based upon the derivation that I can share with you previously. I think now you have to be clear how the design of D and L can be calculated in case of a heating element design. But if you have any problem, you can comment me or you can message me at any time. Your queries, your suggestions, your comments will be most welcome to you. Now coming quickly to the part, we have a second numerical, and in this second numerical we are doing with your induction type furnace numerical, and see how this induction type furnace numericals heating can be solved. Now this is the numerical on your induction type heating, and in this numerical what we have to be given, find the energy consumed and the rating of the tin melting furnace in order to melt 500 kg of the tin in 30 minutes. Take melting point of tin is 235 degrees centigrade and the specific heat as 0.055. The latent heat of fusion is 13.13 kilocalories per kg. Initial temperature is 20 degree and the furnace efficiency is 75%. So this is numerical is totally based upon your induction heating. Now, what will we have to be calculate? We have to calculate how much heat energy is required to melt your tin of a weight 500 kg. Now, based upon this thing, we have a given data, and according to the given data, your mass will be equals to 500 kg. Your melting point temperature, that is T2, is 235 degrees centigrade. Your initial temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. Specific heat S is equal to 0.055. Latent heat of fusion is 13.31 kilocalories per kg, and your furnace efficiency is 0.75. Now, first of all, heat required to raise the temperature from 20 degree to 235 degree is given by the formula H is equals to M into S into T2 minus T1, where M is called as the mass, S is called as the specific heat, T2 is the final temperature, and T1 is the initial temperature. Now, when I substitute these values in the above equation, you can get a value that is H1 is equals to, just a minute, here H1 is equals to 5966. Next, the heat required to melt the tin, that is H2 is equals to M into L. Now this M into L is equals to again 500 into 13.1, so we have 6650. Now what is the total amount of heat required, that is H is equals to, that is what would I have to do? I have to add the both the heats, and this will be equals to 5966 plus 6650, the value will becomes as 12621 kilocalorie. Now this is the formula, that is an energy consumed, and this energy consumed is given by total heat multiplied by 4180. That 4180 is basically given from 1 calorie is equals to 418 joules into efficiency upon 3600 into 10 raised to power 3. So when I can substitute these values in the result, so what will be happen? Your total energy consumed is given as 19.5 kWh. So here, what will be have to be seen, that you can use the formula. The total energy consumed is given by the total heat multiplied by 4180, that is kilocalories to joule conversion. Your efficiency into 3600 into 10 raised to power 3. So you can get a value 19.5 kWh. Now the rating of the tin melting furnace is equal to energy consumed. In that case, you have 19.5 upon, in the numerical it is given 30 minutes. 30 minutes means 0.5. So here we have the time for melting in an hour. Total time for melting in an hour, you can say that it will be 39 kW. So I think this numerical is also understood to you what will be happen in this numerical. So here I can conclude my today's video. Now at the conclusion part, I can again repeat the thing that in this video, what we have to do, we have to uh, get two numerical problems. One numerical problem is basically based upon the design of heating element used in heating, where we have to calculate its D and L. And second, we have the numerical based upon your induction heating. I hope you can understand all the concept behind that thing. But if you have any comment or if you have any suggestion, you can comment me in my comment box, or you can message me at any time. Your queries will be answered as soon as possible. So thank you so much for watching this video. So I will come you with another video that is also related to some heating. So at that time, you should all be stay home, stay safe. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.